What if I told you that many children who grow up loving books once hated reading? If your child groans when you pull out a book, avoids reading whenever possible, or seems interested in anything except books, you are not alone. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes that parents make is assuming that a child who dislikes reading today will always dislike reading. That's simply not true. Some of the strongest readers start out as reluctant readers. The question isn't, how do I force my child to love books? The question is, how do I help my child discover that reading is worth their time? Today, let's talk about what to do if your child hates reading. First of all, don't panic. The first thing to understand is that reading and loving reading are not the same things. A child can learn to read well and still not enjoy it. Think about adults. Most adults know how to exercise, but not everyone enjoys exercising. The same is true for reading. Your goal is not merely literacy. Your goal is to help your child experience delight and wonder and usefulness that books can offer. And that takes time. The worst thing you can do is to conclude that your child is doomed to hate books forever. Children change, maturity changes, interests change, reading tastes change. A child who hates books at age 8 may be carrying a novel everywhere at age 12. So we need to figure out what they actually hate. Many children don't hate reading. They hate what they've been asked to read. There's a difference. Some children only encounter dry readers, uninspiring assignments, or books that they don't connect with because it doesn't interest them. Imagine being told that because you don't enjoy broccoli, you must hate food. That would be ridiculous. Yet sometimes we assume that because a child dislikes one type of book, that they dislike all types of books. So start asking questions. Not to the child, but to yourself. Does your child dislike reading itself? Or do they dislike sitting still? Do they dislike struggling through difficult words? Do they dislike books that feel too young? Do they dislike books that feel too hard? Do they simply dislike the books that they've been given? The answer matters. Reading aloud beyond their reading level is one of the most powerful tools available to parents. Many children who resist reading independently absolutely love being read to. Why? Because listening to you read allows them to experience stories that would be impossible for them to read alone. A 10-year-old might struggle to read a rich classic independently, but that same child might be captivated if you read it aloud. Reading books that are above their level will help them experience adventure, humor, mystery, danger, and beauty. Give them stories worth caring about. Sometimes children don't hate reading, they simply haven't discovered what great books can do. And stop measuring everything. One reason children begin to dislike reading is that reading becomes a performance. How many pages? How many minutes? What grade level? What score? What test result? Imagine if every single movie night ended with a quiz. Eventually, nobody would enjoy movie night. Reading needs room to become pleasurable. Not every book needs to be educational. Not every chapter requires analysis. Not every reading session needs a measurable outcome. Sometimes a child should simply enjoy a story. So let them follow their interests. A child obsessed with horses may suddenly read horse books. A child fascinated by World War II may devour historical fiction. A child who loves animals may eagerly consume field guides or nature books. Reading grows where curiosity already exists. Parents sometimes worry that these books aren't serious enough, but interest is fuel. A child reading eagerly about something they love is developing reading stamina, vocabulary, comprehension, and confidence. Those skills transfer. The goal is not to create a reader of every a reader out of every single book. The goal is to create a reader. So make books part of family culture. Children notice what adults value. If books only appear when school requires them, children naturally assume that reading is schoolwork. But when books are woven into family life, children begin to see them differently. So let your kids catch you reading. Talk about books at dinner. Share interesting ideas that you've learned from books. Read aloud as a family. Give books as gifts. Visit libraries. Visit bookstores. Create an environment where books are normal. Culture is often more powerful than rules. But be careful about turning reading into a constant battle. Sometimes parents become so concerned about reading that every interaction becomes a conflict. Did you do your reading? Why aren't you reading? Go read. You should be reading. Eventually, the child starts associating reading with tension, and that's not what we want. Certainly, there are times when reading is required, but alongside expectations, there should be warmth. So enjoy those stories together, laugh together, discuss books naturally, build positive associations whenever you can. And you should also consider whether reading feels too difficult for your child. Sometimes reluctance is actually frustration. A child might appear lazy when they're really discouraged. If every page feels like they're climbing a mountain, reading becomes exhausting. So pay attention to if those books are a good fit. Can your child read most of the words comfortably? Do they understand what they're reading? Are they constantly stumbling? If reading remains unusually difficult despite practice, it might be worth discussing concerns with a teacher or a specialist. Struggling readers often need support, not criticism. And then play that long game. Perhaps the most important thing we need to remember is this: readers aren't built overnight. The love of books develops over years. So plant those seeds. Read aloud, provide good books, model reading, talk about ideas, follow interests, be patient. Many parents quit too soon because they don't see immediate results, but often those seeds are growing up underground long before they appear above the surface. One day, your child may pick up a book voluntarily, and then another, and then another, and suddenly you'll realize that all those years of effort mattered. If your child hates reading right now, don't lose heart. A reluctant reader is not a lost cause. Keep placing good books within reach. Keep reading aloud. Keep building that family culture where stories and ideas matter. The goal isn't to force a love of reading. The goal is to open the door and patiently invite your child to walk through it. And sometimes that invitation changes a life. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content on raising readers, building family book culture, and helping children discover the joy of great books. Let me know in the comments, has your child ever gone from hating books to loving them? I'd love to hear your story.